Yes, there is a better way to say hard things to the people you care about. And no, bottling your feelings inside is not a good solution. In this episode of The Body Knows, we're going to be exploring how somatics, specifically felt sense awareness, can change the way that you navigate all the conflicts in your life. So we're going to explore, one, how to speak from your body instead of your story, aka your mind's analysis of what's going on, which is often very likely to trigger the person you're talking to. Two, how this way of communicating can actually help your partner empathize with you instead of defending themselves. And finally, three, how this form of communication can turn literally any conflict into an opportunity for deeper emotional intimacy and trust. It's fucking incredible. And what's crazy is the process is actually super simple. It's just unintuitive because we've all learned to figure out what's going on in our heads instead of expressing and sharing what's going on in our bodies. And that means we end up telling stories and casting judgment on the people that we're having a conflict with. So we break down common complaints like, you only reach out when you need something, or you're making all these promises and you're never following through. And we lay out a super simple formula so that you can say it in a way that the person across from you receives and hears with compassion and empathy. I'm Leona Waller. You're about to meet my co-host, Anna Ali. Let's get into it. Worlds collide. Anna loves NBC, and we'll talk about it to anyone who will listen. And I've been like, it's too regimented. It's too structured. I don't like it. And then I was talking to John Wineland about how to express uncomfortable things to people and realized that what Anna's been saying and what John Wineland was saying were in so many ways the same thing. And the root is coming back to your felt sense experience and starting there. So in this episode of The Body Knows, we are talking about how somatics improves our relationships and specifically in conflict resolution, and how being able to slow down and know what you are feeling as it's happening, being able to sit with what you're feeling as it's happening is a huge part of being in a relationship, and then being able to speak from the I about your personal experience instead of the story that you are weaving based on those emotions.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Preach. Oh, and I love and I wanna add in that I feel like when you brought this topic to me earlier, it was like, for me, just these 2 pieces clicked where I think I love NVC, and there's a part of me that's like, "Oh, this is so painful," right? Not trying to hate on the NVC community, will preach from every rooftop I can the
She
value of
does
NVC.
a lot.
Yes. I have multiple books in my card that I just give to people. Um, but there's this missing piece, and it's, like, almost this, like, humanity, like, I'm a human in a body, and NVC is almost, like, too structured, too regimented, too, like I hear in different workshops and trainings and podcasts, like, it sounds robotic in so many ways. And I think because it is missing, like, in my body, this is what I'm feeling right now. It stays in the mind instead. And so
Totally.
yes, worlds collide, bring it into the body.
Yes, and so
Love
we
this.
had this, like, massive realization. Oh, she got so excited she knocked her out. This massive realization that, like, oh, somatics and embodiment, I would say, like, specifically somatics, and being able to name what you are experiencing, being able to be aware of what you are experiencing in a moment without running from it, without twisting a story around it, without needing to add a because to the end of the sentence, is the foundation of being able to speak in moments of heavy emotion in a way where your partner, your friend, your colleague can meet you. And so we kind of came up with this very simple, it's like a simplified NBC format that's just, when this happened, I felt this. It's so simple. And so here, I'm gonna give some examples because we asked ChatGPT to, like, give us some examples, and then Anna's gonna nitpick them and make them even better. Problems that people have in partnership and friendship and what we could say instead. So one is, "You shut down whenever I bring up something hard," is, like, something I'm sure we've all wanted to say to someone at some point. And ChatGPT wrote it, "When I share something vulnerable and you go quiet, so an observation, my body tenses and I start to wonder if it's even safe to keep sharing a feeling." That's yeah, go ahead. ChatGPT said some other dumb shit, but we're gonna cut that out for now.
And I wanna, put in the example that you put in that, you've also or, like, say it again, like, "You shut down whenever I bring up something hard." Like Leona, imagine just for a second, like, I just said that to you. Leona, you shut down every time I bring up something hard, right? Your body's, like, pulling away, your jaw just got tight, you're, like, clenching your body, right? Because, yes, like, what I just said to you was violent.
Mm,
That's what I love about putting NVC on the spectrum is we don't have to just think of violence as, like, a physical aggression, right? Our words can be violent. Judgment is a violent thing.
mm,
Um, and so I'm like, "Fuck, I'm pointing a finger at you right now and just,
mhm,
like, completely turning you into the enemy with that
mhm,
statement. And what am I giving you to work with?" Right?
mm,
Like, if I were to really think about it and so I also this is such a great example of, if I were to say that to you, like, what could be your response, right? Like, and how could we use this framework that you just suggested to respond to someone when they give you that violent communication, right? Like,
mhm,
oh, I can just feel my heart clenching and my body just turning into
mhm,
a hard shell because that
mhm.
felt so painful to receive from you.
Mhm. And I
And so
think
I'll
the key here is, and this is what somatics offers us, is the ability to be so sensitive to your own felt sense experience and what is happening and not make it about an external story, not make it about an external judgment. Like in that moment, I could have said, "Anna, when I feel like you are accusing me of something," because again, speaking in I statements is really important. And I know sometimes it feels so formulaic, but it's the way to not be pointing a finger and not make someone defensive. So when I feel like you are accusing me of something, I feel my shoulders cave in and I feel myself wanting to back up and I feel myself getting hard and angry and fiery and wanting to defend myself
right.
instead of being like, "And you, Anna, always accuse me of doing da 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 da."
Yeah, 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 right, and we know where this spiral goes,
We
right?
know where the spiral goes.
Yeah, yeah, so then you give me something real to work with and something I have
Mhm.
felt in my body too. I know what it feels like to, like, hunch my shoulders in and put up the wall and brace myself for impact and get ready to, like, charge back.
Mhm.
And instead, like, you, by being vulnerable in this way, right? Because sharing your personal experience is vulnerable. Yeah. Like, it is like, I do wanna highlight that, share that, like, it's not what we're suggesting you do takes something, right? There's some courage there, and there's some discernment with whom you're going to offer that part of yourself.
Yeah. So, what made me pay attention to nonviolent communication, even though I don't like anything formulaic. I don't like anything structured.
I I can, like, confirm that for all of you.
um, was Anna described that the point of it is to, instead of making the person you're talking to defensive, it activates their empathy and their compassion.
Yeah.
And so it takes it from being a conflict to a discussion, to a sharing of internal worlds. And that I found so beautiful. The idea that a disagreement, a incongruence in experiences could actually deepen two people into intimacy with sharing vulnerably and cause two people to become closer rather than leading to a rupture that has to be repaired. And so, like, that point, like, it requires vulnerability.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Oh, I love that, and I love and you just highlighted that so well, right? It's about creating a space where we can find and feel empathy for the person in front of us.
Yeah. And that all starts with like, it is very hard when someone comes up to you and speaks exclusively from their own experience for us, any of us as human beings with mere neurons who are raised to be social creatures, to not immediately empathize. So if Anna came up to me and was like, I'm just having a really hard day and I feel like shit, I'm like, oh, babe, tell me everything. And similarly, if Anna's like, love, I need to talk to you about something because something happened between us that just really hurt.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Like, I'm nervous. I'm nervous to be sure. And this is where the second layer of somatics comes in handy to notice in myself, like, ooh, I know that I'm going to get called out in this moment.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty aware that I don't want to be called out in this moment. But because I have spent the time to cultivate a relationship with my internal experience and with my emotions, I don't have to react and defend myself in that moment. I can even say to Anna, "Oh, I feel my heart rate getting a little high. I feel myself getting really sweaty, but I love you and I want to hear what you have to say."
Yeah. Yes, right, and gosh, that gives me so much to work with, because then I get to remember, I get to attune to your nervous system, right? And
Mhm.
I get to remember, like, "Okay, this is, like, a very loving human in front of me who I have a deep
Mhm.
connection with, and so I wanna try my best to show up in a way for her and me to work through this," you know,
Mhm.
and I'm able to do that better when you tell me, like, what your inner world is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, now we're both just, like, smiley and melty. So, I do wanna give a few more of these examples, and we'll, like, include them in the, write-up and the Substack and wherever else we put words. Um, so, like, the kind of normal example, you never initiate anything, I'm always the one doing the work. And the Um, how should we call this somatic communication? Should we just say it's nonviolent communication? Should we come up with our own term?
It's it's technically definitely not nonviolent communication,
Oh, okay.
but deeply influenced by it, right?
Okay, okay. So it's like, um, somatic, I don't know, revealing? That sounds dramatic.
That's super dramatic, I love it though, but yes, maybe too much.
Okay, we'll workshop it.
TBD, yeah, yeah, we'll get back to everyone on what we're gonna trademark this.
Yeah, we'll include it in the write-up. But basically, it's when this happens, I feel this. That is the entire framework. Coming at you from the future, we decided to call it the felt sense dialogue. So when I'm the one consistently reaching out or making plans every time, I start to feel tired and a little defeated. I notice myself pulling back.
Yeah.
Anna, would you like to say something about the word defeated in that context?
Well, Leona, in the NVC world, we are very strict about what is considered a feeling and what is not considered a feeling.
Mhm.
Um, gosh, well, defeated. Like, so
Yeah.
the question here is defeated a feeling, right?
Yeah. And for me, I don't have a problem with it in this context.
I
I
think I don't either.
Yeah. So, what I try to steer away from is words that are like, I feel misunderstood. I feel unseen. I feel dismissed. All these words that are not a feeling so much as a judgment about what the other person is doing to you. You are
Right,
not seeing me.
they're an analysis of the situation. They're and the story that's come out of that. They're
Yeah.
not feeling.
Yeah. And I think in this case, defeated, it doesn't feel like you have defeated me. It feels like the situation has defeated me, and because it's not a judgment on the person they're talking to, it doesn't feel as pointed to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I'm personally okay with that example.
Yes. And yeah, I mean, I think there are some words that very clearly fit in the, "Okay, this is not a feeling category."
Mhm.
There's a gray area there, right?
Yeah.
And and I think in the NVC world, what they like to do is steer you toward like, "Okay, but what else is there?" Okay, you
Mhm.
feel defeated. What else is there? I feel disappointed.
Mhm.
Feel depleted.
Depleted. Oh, that's a good one. This is why, like, somatic practice and that soma check-in, is that what it's called?
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
That we do every time is so important because in a moment of heat, if instead of saying, "You always do this, blah, 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 blah," instead of being like, "My heart hurts, like, I feel my shoulders caving in, and I feel myself wanting to hide under the bed." Like, that elicits such a different response, but it is very hard to pull out of nowhere if you have not been practicing.
Yes, and been practicing in, like, not a high stakes scenario.
Yeah.
We workshop this in imaginary scenarios.
Yeah, totally, and how this came up for me is I was talking to, John Wineland, who's, like, a sacred intimacy teacher, and, um, I was talking about, being in the wild world of dating, which I don't recommend, quite honestly, but, like, I'm a very sensitive person, you could call me a HSP, highly sensitive person, and there are little things that happen that I have big reactions to, and I have spent the last 33 years of my life fully ignoring the fact that those existed and going on with the interaction, and this doesn't have to be in the context of a date, it can be in the context of talking to a family member or a colleague, someone you met on the subway, um, but then I would go on through this interaction fully pretending everything was fine and not even give the person in front of me a chance to know what my inner environment is like, the fact that I had that reaction, and essentially shut off the possibility for any emotional intimacy going forward.
Mm.
So, I was asking about how to gracefully reveal my inner world in a way that maybe wasn't, super comfortable for the person in front of me, um, and, uh, this teacher really pushed me, like, I was having a really hard time not turning it into a story, and he really pushed me, he was like, "What is the first feeling?" And I was like, "I think I felt like, my chest collapse and, like, the air leave my body," and he's like, "You can say just that." He's
Yeah.
like, "You can just say you felt yourself get small. You felt yourself armor up. You felt yourself, feel like you need to protect yourself." Like, as long as you are speaking from the "I" and not like, "I feel misunderstood," which is, again, actually a story about what they're doing to you,
Yeah.
that evokes an empathetic, compassionate response from the person next to you. And let me tell you, it's very telling how they respond when you give them something as compassionate as you possibly can. And it just makes it easier to know who you want to spend your energy on.
Snaps to that. Yes, and I love and so, like, what you're highlighting, like, what's clicking in my brain right now is this idea that somatics tries to teach people is that when we have an emotional response, we have a response in our body that comes out as sensation in some way. And and we understand this in ways already culturally, right? We say like, "Oh, I got butterflies in my stomach and I was really nervous," right? That's our body responding to this emotional state or sensation that's also arising. "Oh, like a punch to the gut when he said that to me," right? Like, we feel it in our bodies.
Yeah.
And so, instead of expressing the emotion, because sometimes I don't know what my emotion is, right? And especially having grown up in this Western world, there's like 3 emotions, like happy, sad, angry, right? And so and so being able to express that, especially in the moment, can feel almost impossible. I don't know what I'm feeling.
Mhm.
What's much more accessible are the sensations my body is giving me right now.
Mm.
So that is
Mhm.
something I can share and express.
Mhm.
I feel my body caving inward,
Mm.
right? I may not have in the moment that I feel despair,
Yeah.
that I feel withdrawn, that I feel wretched,
Mm.
but I feel my whole body wanting to cave in on itself.
Yeah.
And so, like, this is a piece that I'd love, oh, Leona, yes, like, how do we incorporate this into NVC?
Mhm.
And how do we bring it into the body, right? Because so much of what I see as well in a lot of NBC conversations is people are mentally trying to analyze and figure out what they're feeling, or
Mhm.
mentally trying to analyze and figure out what the person in front of them is feeling.
Mhm.
And I love John Weiland brings in this term so often, attunement.
Mm.
My nervous system attuning to your nervous system, not my mind analyzing the context, right? My body feeling you.
Mhm.
So then we can move into sensation as well. We don't have to just say this emotion that we're feeling, right?
Mhm. We don't
And
have to flip open the thesaurus.
yes, right. Because I'm constantly pulling up the NVC list of needs and feelings, right? Because I mean, it's so long and I can't remember it all.
Mm-mm.
But I don't need that to tune into my body. I don't need that to say, like, oh, my chest feels like it can't move right now. There's
Yeah.
a weight over my sternum. My
Mhm.
breath is shallow and
Mhm.
fast.
Mhm.
Need a list of someone telling me the different emotions I could be feeling and, like, me going through each one. No, it's not that one.
Mhm.
No, my
Right.
body is telling me in sensation constantly. We could just
Yeah.
be from there.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna read a few more of these examples just so people have them. Um, and please, Anna, if there's anything I say that you have problems with, jump
Permission
on
to
in.
nitpick?
Yeah, please nitpick. Um, you keep making promises and not following through. Uh, when something you've committed to doesn't happen, I feel let down and wary. I would say you wouldn't say let down. I would
Yeah,
say ChatGPT again. eh. I feel wary. I feel my shoulders cave in. I feel deflated. I yeah, things that don't have the story in them. I want to trust your word, and I notice that's starting to wobble for me. So again, it's about the inner experience. There's a little bit more story there, but it's still about the inner experience.
well, and I love that this one and other ones too, this "I want" piece,
Mm,
like, so crucial to me, right? Because when someone is offering you some form of criticism, some form of like, "Hey, this thing that happened left me feeling hurt,"
mhm,
that's hard to receive, right?
mhm,
And so if you add in this piece, like, "I want to feel connected to you. I want to deepen our relationship. I
mhm,
want," that helps the other person step into that container with you. 'Cause you
mhm.
are still on the same page about these things, right? You do have the same desires in that sense.
I love that. And if anybody we can have, like, a full video. There's, like, a more to the NVC, um, formula, and if
Mhm.
anybody wants a podcast or a video about that, let us know, and I will just grill Anna for 30
I
minutes.
love that. I'm gonna pick on Leona right now that she called it the NVC formula, right? Most people would be like, "Oh, yeah, the format," right? And Leona's like, "No, no, it's a formula.
It
It's
is.
incorrect. We're
It's a
correct."
observation, a feeling, a need, and a request. Plus, plus, plus equals NVC. Anyway.
It is a formula, you're right, you're right.
Okay, just 2 more. Um, you only reach out when you need something. Eh, better version. The somatic revealing version. We'll come up with a better name. Trademark that. When I only hear from you when something's going wrong, I feel more like a lifeline than a friend. I wouldn't say that's great. Um, I would say instead of that, ChatGPT. What would you say, Anna? How would you
Wait,
feel?
hold on, I do wanna just add in finish the last part, read the
Okay,
last.
okay. I miss the parts of our friendship that felt mutual and curious.
Yes, okay, so I wanna say again, like, this adding this piece into the formula. Okay, wait, not formula. Into the recipe, into the soup, is like, it makes it so much more capable for the other person to show up as
So
they
what would you call that? Like a want, a shared outcome? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me, it's some sort of expression of desire for connection
mm,
in a lot of these cases, and some sort of expression for a desire for something. It's some from in the NVC world, we're looking at, like, needs
mhm,
being met or unmet, and
mhm.
and so this, expressing to the other person that I would usually it would be, like, some sort of, like, mutual desire or mutual need.
Mm, I like that. And it's like I almost feel like it's showing kind of where you want, like what the end goal is for you. It's like a mutual end goal. Like I want a mutual and curious friendship. I want to trust your word. Like
Right.
it's
Right.
leading, it helps imagining being the person on the receiving end of like, "Oh, that's where I'm going." So it's not just what I'm doing wrong, but it's like what they crave instead of what's feeling bad to them.
Yeah, right. Yes, it's like bringing in that there's more to this picture, right? There's
Mhm.
more to than me just bringing up the thing that you did that made me feel
Yeah,
badly in some way.
totally. Okay.
Um,
And I would
y
probably say, so when I only hear from you when something's going wrong, I feel sad. I would just say,
yes,
I feel sad.
yes, right. Okay, wait, let me pull up this list.
Is this the NVC list?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, hurt, resentful. There could
Mm,
be anger here instead.
yeah. Resentful is a good one. That's, I feel like, a feeling a lot of people feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
good sentence on my part.
Right, because going back to it, I feel more like a lifeline than a friend. That's a story.
Yeah.
Gosh, thank you, Leona, for, like, bringing that in as a way to check.
Mm,
Is what I just said a story or an emotion? And,
mhm,
like, when I look at it from that framework, it's like, "Oh, right. No, that's a story. I
mm,
feel like a lifeline,
mhm.
not a feeling."
Totally. And so this last one, this was, I asked it to give us examples from like relationship, friendship, and perhaps work.
Mhm.
And this last one is like, I guess something you'd say to a manager. I don't have one of those, but I can imagine what it was like. You don't know how to lead. We're all drowning. No, thank you.
Mm,
Better. When direction is unclear or constantly shifting, I feel overwhelmed and scattered.
mhm.
I need clearer priorities so I can give my energy to the right things.
Yeah, yeah,
Not so much a shared end destination, but I think because it's a work example,
yeah,
it makes sense of like, this is what I need in order to do what you want me to do.
yeah. Yeah, and this is a great example, I think, where we can like, this is sometimes we need to express the unmet need
Mm,
more so or in addition to, like, it's missing the shared desire or mutual desire there,
yeah.
but met need and, like, what do I need in this work environment? I need clear priorities. I need direction.
Mhm.
I need, fill in the blank.
Yeah. And that's very much like classic NVC. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's much more classic NBC. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay, great. Anything else? So we our formula, right?
Uh-huh.
We've got when this happens, I feel this, keeping
Yes,
it to a sensation or an emotion or
yes.
both. And then if you want to add something on at the end, some sort of mutual shared endpoint of like, I
Yeah,
want to trust you. I miss a friendship that feels curious and mutual.
yeah,
Um, I want to be in this with you. I want to feel like equal partners in this with you, like a desire for the connection to deepen, not to end. Makes people feel really safe.
That that I think you said it beautifully.
Ah, well, beautiful. Thank you, Anna,
You, Leona.
and we'll see you all again next week. Sending love.